Tatyova, Benthic Druid versus Tuvasa, the Sunlit. Definitely can't keep that one. No lands in the hand. Well, that's not a particularly good hand, but I know if I mulligan that, then we're not going to draw into any lands. We will throw that on the bottom. And at least if our opponent goes crazy out of control, we can use Crucible of Worlds and Wasteland. That's not really a tactic I like to use. What I do like to see is a colourless land on turn 1. Okay, Burgeoning is probably one of the better cards we could see in the early game. Now every time our opponent plays a land, we can put one of our lands from our hand into play. And there we go. So we'll get down our breeding pool here. We do not want to shock it in. So that means that we can get down Crucible of Worlds next turn, but looks like our opponent's gone for Enchantress, the same as we have with our Tuvasa the Sunlit deck. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, draw a card. That's going to be difficult to get rid of because we can't target it. It does have Shroud, the Argothian Enchantress. So Curse of the Swine will be of no use to us. Okay, getting to our own Reliquary Tower, so that means that we are online for a Tatyova next turn if our opponent plays a land. Get down the Reliquary Tower in response to the Flooded Strand, and then we'll be able to get down Wasteland here as well, because a fetch land does make another land drop. Okay, and Mesa Enchantress, so our opponent's really got the Enchantress cards in hand, which is pretty good for our opponent. Alright, we've got Hinterland Harbour. So in that case, we go Tatyova, and then we'll see if our opponent plays a land next turn. If they do, we need to decide if we actually want to wasteland their colours. I wouldn't normally even consider it, but they can rebuild easily with Mesa Enchantress, and I know how powerful Enchantress commanders are and Enchantress decks are. So there we go, they've drawn a couple of cards there already just from playing a Courser of Kruphix. I do think we need to go the Wasteland plan, and we'll get down our Wasteland. We'll draw a card and gain a life thanks to Tatyova. That is the ability on our Tatyova card. And Tuvasa is Bant to 1/1. Gets +1/+1 for each enchantment you control, and whenever you cast your first enchantment each turn, you draw a card. Yeah, I think we do have to Wasteland. It doesn't feel good, but we'll just go after the command tower. Okay, Harrow is ramp, so we will play Harrow, sacrifice a forest, and then we'll grab ourselves a forest and an island, and that's more landfall for us. Then how about a cultivate? Now that we're ramping and drawing so much, I'm less tempted to go for the wasteland, so we'll just throw a forest into play here off the cultivate, and we get into even more stuff here. So let's go for a forest. Okay, Lotus Cobra is quite nice. That's going to set us up very nicely for next turn. Yeah, now we could really do with something like an Azusa. I think we're going to Curse of the Swine next turn, just to get rid of this Enchantress. Don't really care so much about Courser of Kruphix. Yeah, thanks to Courser of Kruphix's 4 toughness. Not going to swing in with Tatyova. Okay, Enchanted Evening is really good in a Tuvasa deck because it makes Tuvasa absolutely massive. And then if you can give it some kind of evasion, she can get through for commander damage very easily. Karmic Justice is a very big issue for us. Whenever a spell or ability an opponent controls destroys a non-creature permanent you control, destroy a target permanent that player controls. So we couldn't really go for the Wasteland plan if we wanted to now. Noteworthy that they do have prison cards in the deck as well. Alright, let's just throw down an island and see what we draw. Okay, Raminap Excavator yeah, we don't really care about because we have Crucible of Worlds. We'll add some blue mana with the Lotus Cobra. And then we'll kill these things with Curse of the Swine. They won't trigger Karmic Justice because that is an exile effect. And this means that if our opponent gets down enchantments, then they'll only draw one card this time. I will get down the Ramunap. Do I want to get down Ramunap? I was just thinking of blocking the boars, but we can block with a Tatyova anyway. Yeah, so we'll just hold back for now and hope that we make some better draws. We're getting into a lot of lands, which is better than nothing because Tatyova does obviously draw us cards from lands. Our Tuvasa opponent is struggling for land drops currently. They're struggling to make Bant, thanks to us blowing up their command tower. We could continue to blow up their coloured mana, but it draws the game to a close really quickly, and also the Karmic Justice can just go crazy in response to that. Okay, Wayward Swordtooth is good. That means that we can make multiple land drops a turn. So we'll go for the Wayward Swordtooth. We'll get Wasteland out of the graveyard. And then, yeah, Command Beacon isn't terrible either. Now we draw into Counterspell, which could be used to make life difficult for our opponent if they get into a Tuvasa next turn. And we can counter that. Yeah, I'm not going to swing in yet. I will start swinging in with the Wayward Swordtooth next turn, though. Because they'll probably just chump with a boar. I think they'll gang up on Tatyova with 2 boars. In fact, there'd be no reason not to. And I don't feel like replaying Tatyova. Oh, Sterling Grove is not something that I want to deal with because it's a tutor on an enchantment. You can pay 1 and sack it to search your library for an enchantment. Yeah, and there we go. Our opponent scoops there. We'd just gotten too far ahead of them. We were drawing into Crop Rotation, which would have drawn us into a Rampaging Baloths, yeah. And then we make a couple of land drops. And we draw into Courser of Kruphix and another counterspell. So, yeah, Rampaging Baloths would have sent us over the edge there. We could have started going wide on our opponent. And we had the mana to play for the And we had the mana to pay for the Ghostly Prison. So, yeah, unlucky on our opponent's part, but I think our tactical Wasteland shot really shot them in the foot there. That's the problem with playing 3 coloured commanders if you don't get lucky with your lands that you draw into. Anyway, that was Tatyova, Benthic Druid, versus Tuvasa the Sunlit. Hope you all enjoyed it. I'm Tribalkai on the EDH channel. I'll see you in the next one.